Hey family, welcome to Family People. I'm Raymond, and this is everything Marvel United Multiverse, the absolute all-in pledge with all the extras. Let's get unboxing. Hey family, welcome to the Family People. I'm Raymond, and this is the Fantastic Four: The Coming of Galactus expansion content for Marvel United Multiverse. So this was an extra that was available to back in the Multiverse campaign. And this, of course, brings us Galactus, as well as a number of his Heralds. So let's have a quick look at the top here. Here we go. Okay. Very colourful, very bright. Loving that artwork. All the beams, cosmic energy. So I've taken note of the characters that we've got in this box, but let's just have a quick look and appreciate the artwork around the box itself. So again, in typical fashion, you have the option to store your content in whatever means best suits you, whether horizontal or vertical. So those options are available. Let's have a quick look on the back. In his insatiable hunger to consume world after world, the cosmic behemoth known as Galactus has always relied on his herald to pave the way for his conquests. However, the Silver Surfer has betrayed him, forcing Galactus to look for new heralds. Searching the universe for suitable replacements, he conscripted 4 powerful beings. With the aid of his heralds, can anyone stop the coming of Galactus? So of course we would have come across the Silver Surfer in the likes of the Fantastic Four movies, or movie, I think just the one movie where we saw Silver Surfer, and actually a very good portrayal, I felt, actually, of the Silver Surfer. Very true to the original name of the character, the world he came from, etc. Didn't get to see Galactus, but we got to appreciate the story of the Silver Surfer acting as the Herald. So let's dig into. So we start with a rulebook. So look and see what we have. About begin with the contents. Just slide that out of the way. There we go. So we get one humongous Galactus himself. Oops. I just switch up here. Here we go. So we get a Galactus and his 4 heralds, being the Airwalker, Nova, Terrax, and Firelord. We will have a custom Galactus villain dashboard here, with the Herald's villain dashboard on the flip side. So my immediate guess would be you would be fighting against the Heralds, and then once you've completed the Heralds, you flip that over and then fight against Galactus. But we'll see. Obviously we have all the appropriate cards fighting against the villains, and their individual dashboards as well, so you can of course play them in a typical style, just as villains in the course of the Marvel United gameplay. And as you'd expect, we have 6 locations in here, so one for each of the spots in the game. We do actually have some Silver Surfer cards as well. Interesting. So these are Galactus Threat card, Galactus Mission card, and Herald card. Okay, so when you set up the board for Galactus, this is how it would appear. By all accounts, quite different. So we've got similar locations, but actually these locations make up different areas of the Earth. And you have the optional Silver Surfer that you can play. And of course, we saw Silver Surfer in Marvel United Season 2 in the X-Men release, I believe. I think so. There we go. Aha, there we go. And then if you're playing the Heralds of Galactus, you have a different mode again. So you'd have all the individual villain boards and their single villain dashboard, Herald dashboard in the middle. Okay, so various different means to play the game, and of course you can play them modularly on their own. And supervillain mode, when playing against Heralds in supervillain mode, the heroes choose their starting location by split to that location the opposite. And as always, appreciate the beautiful artwork. There we go. Okay, so that is what we've got in the rulebook. Let's have a look at the dashboards. So, there we go. So they are actually both unique dashboards. There we are. So the Fantastic Four Herald of Galactus. So special setup. Place the 4 Herald villain dashboards nearby, each with a respective health. Randomly place 4 Herald tokens face up, each in a different slot in the Herald dashboard. The heroes start the game with any two opposite locations, splitting as they wish between them, and then randomly place 1 Herald in each other location. Create a crisis tokens pool. Reach basic level is 18 crisis token, tough level is 15 crisis tokens, and you can play it in super villain mode as well. Apologies you weren't able to read along with me there, and it's a bit small on the screen. Apologies for that. So then we flip that over. Here we go. So we have a whole bunch of peeps and their special rules and their missions. So very much as we would come to know and love. The Herald's plot track. So trying to get to 11 or 12 at basic and 9 in tough. Villainous plot. The heroes lose if either of these conditions is met. There are no crisis tokens left in the pool, or the Herald's plot track reaches 9 for tough level or 12 for basic level. Okay. So if there's an event of overflow, increase the plot by 1. So that's clearly what they are doing. It's putting out tokens on the board. And then we have, oops, a bit crumpled. Of course, our wonderful Galactus. Galactus special setup. So instead of the 3 standard missions, shuffle the Stop Galactus mission deck, placing the Convince Galactus to Spare Earth mission at the bottom. Then reveal the top mission shuffle master plan deck and remove 6 random cards from the game. Heroes start in any location corresponding to the continent where they are playing. Okay. Set aside the new Herald threat cards. Threat tokens are not used for this game. Place Galactus on the back of his dashboard in the middle of the 6 locations facing the hero's starting location. And here he is. Okay. Got his rules around the edges. So when he bams, so in the location the Galactus is facing, discard all civilians and thugs there. Each hero there must discard 1 action token if they have any. Deal 1 damage to each hero there. And then special rules: Galactus never becomes under pressure and the heroes cannot damage him. When Galactus moves, rotate him clockwise to face the location corresponding to the movement number. When a hero is KO'd, Galactus doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, draw a master plan card and add it face down to the storyline. When the heroes complete a mission, immediately reveal the next one. Event of overflow, draw a master plan card, add it to storyline face down. And in heroic goal, the heroes win if they complete all the Stop Galactus missions. So that is very much what we're trying to do, is rescue Earth from Galactus. So let's dig in what else we have In the box, we have some locations that I can't get into. There we are. Okay. So, depending on your continent, as the rules say, let's have a look at the continents they give us. Let's just out a bit. There we go. Continents the game comes with then is Asia. Yep, that's all on the board. So at the end of the turn, you may add any combination of 2 civilians thugs to this location. There's plenty of spots on there. We have, oops, I'll take that out of the way because of the green screen. We have Africa. So 5 slots. At the end of your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck and defeat a thug and rescue a civilian in any single location. That's tasty. You have Europe. So 4 locations for Europe. At the end of the turn, you may draw 3 cards from your deck. If you do, you must then discard 3 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so nice little hand siffler. South America. Oops. There we go, South America. And it's a big one here. So at the end of your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain a wild token. Plus action tokens into the symbol at the bottom of the card you discarded. Okay, nice. We have North America. So at the end of your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to swap a card from your hand with 1 of the face-up cards in the storyline. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one, Oceania. So at the end of your turn, you may knock out your hero to remove them from the game, discarding any action tokens you have, and choosing a different hero on your next turn. Start in this location. Okay, so it's some quite different and interesting locations there. We get a bunch of mini tokens, 2 each for of the Heralds. Okay. Let's have a look at Herald. Oh, it's taped. Bear with me, apologies. Go. Okay. And the other side as well. That. Definitely wanted to make sure everything was nice and secure. There's off. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Whoop. Oh, it is. Of course, as you'd expect, we have lots of cards. Put those off to the side. I'm going to have some figures, so let's go with Airwalker first of all. So I believe this is Airwalker. So let's have a look. So there's Airwalker. So it doesn't have any there we go. Doesn't have any special setup rules. So maybe one of the easier ones. Let's just have a look. So he starts with 2 health, 7 and 8. 5, 7, 8 health, depending on the number of players. So let's have a look at his special rules. A hero may spend 2 heroic feet in a location with another hero to have the hero discard a crisis token. When he bams, give a crisis token to a hero, Airwalkers and both adjacent locations, then deal 1 damage to 1 hero in Airwalkers and both adjacent locations. Okay. It is Cloak of Fire. In the event of overflow, if 1 or more tokens can't be added to the location, give a crisis token to the hero in that location and both adjacent locations. And the villainous plot, the heroes lose if a single hero ever has 4 or more crisis tokens. Wow. Okay, so let's just find out a little bit more about our Herald, shall we? So, Airwalker, his real name is Gabriel Lan. He's a captain in the Zandarian Nova Corps. Gabriel Lan was abducted and transformed into Airwalker by Galactus, becoming his herald. The Airwalker possessed superhuman strength, endurance, reflexes and reactions, mastery of the electromagnetic spectrum, and total immunity to the rigors of space. On a journey to seek a planet for Galactus sustenance, Airwalker battled the alien Ovoids race. They kill Lan, but not before Galactus retrieves and transfers the last spark of Lan's soul into an android body. So this becomes a big thing. So I believe in the original storyline, some of the lines of, because he's Gabriel, when he visits Earth, when he comes across the Earth as a means of discovering a planet for Galactus to consume, the residents of the Earth mistake him for Angel Gabriel, as his name is Gabriel, and he appears flying in the sky and engulfed in fire. The Fantastic Four try and take him on, and eventually it comes to pass, and they discover after attacking him he's actually an android, and the original Gabriel had obviously been previously defeated. That is very much the storyline of Gabriel Lan. Fantastic miniature. I love the extra details provided there. Okay, so who do we have next? Let's go with Firelord. So Firelord, I believe, was a herald who was enlisted following Gabriel's demise. I think generally Galactus has a lot of issues with his heralds effectively just going rogue on him and rebelling. Having a bit too much conscience, I think, is the issue. So, special setup. After performing step 7 of the setup, fill all empty slots in Firelord's location, and both locations adjacent to the hero's starting location with thugs. Fill all empty slots in all other locations with civilians. Replace the 3 standard mission cards with 3 free Firelord missions instead. Okay, so we are trying to free Firelord from his being controlled by Galactus. There is no health, notice. So special rules, Firelord cannot be damaged, hence no health. Okay, when a hero is knocked out, Firelord doesn't activate his ban. Instead, he plays Master card, draws it, places it face down in the storyline. Rescue civilians, defeated thugs and cleared threats are placed on the first empty corresponding slot, starting from the leftmost free Firelord mission. Okay. When he bams, if Firelord's location, rescue a civilian, defeat a thug, and deal 1 damage to a henchman, if any, and then deal 1 damage to each other villain and hero there. Okay. Overflow. In the event of tokens not being able to be placed, draw a master plan card, place face down the storyline. The heroic goal is the heroes win if they complete all 3 missions. So you'll have specific mission cards pertaining to him and completing his conquest, rescuing him. Okay, we'll have a look at Nova. So Nova, of course, completely made out of fire. I believe this is the original replacement for Silver Surfer once he disappears back to his home world, I think, or maybe just stays on Earth, in fact. So special setup. Nova has no threat cards, so keep the threat tokens in a side pool. Okay. Let's have a look. Her life. So 2 players 6, 3 players 6, and 4 players 7 health. Apologies, that yellow doesn't come out well on the green screen there. Apologies for that, folks. So special rules. Each location can't have more than 3 crisis tokens at any one time. Any excess tokens are added to the next clockwise location instead. But the location has 3 crisis tokens and 1 threat add 1 threat to the clear threat missions. The end of the turn effect of that location is now cancelled. Heroes ending their turn in a location with 1 or more crisis tokens take 1 damage before using the location end of turn effect, if any. And then when she bams, add 1 crisis token to a location, to both locations adjacent. Okay. In the event of not being able to place tokens, add 1 crisis token to that location, and the heroes lose if every location has 3 crisis tokens. So she is effectively putting the world into crisis quite literally. Okay, and the last of our heralds then, Terrax. Okay, so let's get his mini out. He's a chunky one. Look at the size of that axe. Wow, ready to execute. So 6, 8, 9 health, depending on the number of players. Special rules. When a hero is KO'd, Terrax doesn't activate his BAM. Instead, it increases the Terrax domination track by 1. So this would be his domination track. The heroes lose when his track reaches 8. Heroes can't move using movement actions between locations with a move token between them. Okay, heroes can remove such a token by spending 1 movement token on one of these locations. Okay. When Terrax BAMs, deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Terrax location and in the opposite location. And if 1 or more civilians or thug tokens cannot be added to a location, increase Terrax domination by 1. Okay, so he's there to dominate everything. Okay, now I go back to this, so let's have a look. So Terrax, his backstory is Tyros was his original name, originally the dictator of the small city-state Lanalak. He had limited power over earth and rock, apparently a mutation unique to him. Tyros loved power and conquest and led a life of debauchery and violence. Fantastic Four brought him to Galactus' attention, freeing the city of Lanalak and from Tyros' rule. Galactus exposed Tyros to his cosmic power and transformed him into Terrax, the Tamer. Giving him enhanced power to now affect all rock and stone, Galactus also gave Terrax a weapon, the Cosmic Axe, capable of generating waves of cosmic force. That is the axe we are seeing him with there. So these are all very much the heralds. There we go. So in the case of Pirius Krill, no. Pirius was a naval officer aboard a Zandarian explorer ship when his commander and friend Gabriel Lan was abducted by Galactus. Krill pursued Galactus' ship, teleported himself abroad, demanding Lan's release. Galactus was impressed by Krill and offered to help if he agreed to become his new herald. Krill was transformed by Galactus' power into Firelord. As Firelord, he wields a flaming staff that is capable of energy projection, has superhuman strength, reflexes and durability, flight, mastery of the electromagnetic spectrum, and total immunity to the rigors of space. Firelord is also able to travel faster than the speed of light. That's the backstory for Firelord. Let's see about Nova, Frankie Ray. So Ray worked for the United Nations as an interpreter. She originally gained superpowers, flame generation, projection and flight as a result of a mutagenic reaction to exposure of unknown chemicals. But her powers were enhanced by Galactus, resulting in better human strength, stamina, durability, agility and reflexes. The ability to manipulate cosmic energy, project streams of fire while mentally controlling them, and she possesses near total physical invulnerability. She aided the Fantastic Four until she volunteered to become Galactus' new herald, taking the name Nova. There we go. So that is Nova, Frankie Ray. I believe Galactus is actually attached to. So let me just see. I can unbind him. There we go. He wasn't going anywhere. Beautiful. Look at that. So big. Oh. We'll see with this camera here. His glory. I barely have to lift him up. It fills the camera. He's a big boy. Frankie, probably the closest to a normal size mini. That gives you an idea of the difference in size. There we go. So yes, he is big. Okay, let's just rest him there. Boop. So obviously he's got his own special board, but let's just have a look at his storyline. So Galen is his real name. At the end of his universe, Galen was approached by sentience of the cosmos and fused with its essence, allowing him to survive and become Galactus, a cosmic being that consumes the energy found in planets for sustenance. Eventually, Galactus was determined to consume the energy-rich planet Earth, returning several times to try to consume it, but always being narrowly thwarted. Meanwhile, he consumed numerous inhabited worlds throughout the known universe to satiate his hunger and was feared. There we go. So, I'll tell you what, let's dig into Galactus cards. See what kind of delights my face going up against Galactus. And of course, he does have his Silver Surfer card, as we made reference to earlier. So he has 4 health with a 2-player game, and a 3 to 4 player game 5 health. And when Galactus bams, deal 2 damage to one hero in Silver Surfer's location. Then Silver Surfer moves to location opposite to the hero who will play next. Silver Surfer can also be damaged using heroic actions. So those are how Silver Surfer works. So we have then a Stop Galactus card. And it says defeat Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer has already been defeated. Put him back in play with 4 health in the first location with no threat, starting from one Galactus is facing and proceeding clockwise. Take down Silver Surfer. Okay. And another Silver Surfer threat. So we have a rescue civilians, calm down civilians. Stop Galactus. We have a defeat thugs. Stop Galactus. Only 6 of each. Defeat Firelord. If Firelord has already been defeated, put him back in play with 3 health. Okay. Stop Galactus. Defeat Terrax. If he's already been defeated, put him back in play with 3 health. Okay. Defeat Nova. Put him back in play if already defeated. Defeat Airwalker. Okay. Oh, we have some. So still the alternate modifier. Convince Galactus to spare Earth. So these are the other 2 Stop Galactus cards. Okay. Additional threats then we have, of course, Firelord, Nova, Terrax, Airwalker, combined with Power Cosmic. Power Cosmic. As long as this threat is in play, hero special effects are treated as blank. We have more threats. The new Herald, deal 1 damage to one hero in this and both adjacent locations. So same there. And then we're on to Galactus cards. So we've got an interesting mix of threats there. And let's just have a look. Wow, every card is a special card. So let's have a look. Power Cosmic Release. Add 3 civilians to the location is facing. And any Power Cosmic threat cards have been cleared. Put one of them back in play in the first location without a threat. Okay. So we've got a couple of those. We've got Massive Turmoil. Add a thug to each location he is not facing. Okay. Massive Panic. Add a civilian to each location he is not facing. Massive Turmoil. Add 1 thug location he's not facing. Massive Panic. Adding a civilian. Massive Turmoil. Massive Panic. Massive turmoil with different numbers of locations. It will be moving each time. Okay. Okay, so 0. Choose a new herald and 3. I think we did this right at the beginning, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. Gonna get the new herald. Right. So they are Galactus cards and how he will operate when facing off against Galactus. There you go. This should give you an idea what that will look like. And while we're here, let's have a quick gander at the other Heralds cards, and I have one more additional sneaky treat at the end as well. So, ooh, nice. Okay. Ooh, interesting. So, Nova, although she is completely fire coloured, she is actually a purple character. So you can play her as a superhero as well as a herald. So here are her superhero cards. We've got various movements, attacks, heroic feats, wilds. Her specials then: Nova Flame. Discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to deal 1 damage to everything else in your location. Discard all civilians there. We've got 2 of those, 3 of those, and then the 4th one is Pyrokinesis. As long as this card is faced with a storyline at the beginning of your turn, you may place 1 crisis token in an adjacent location to attack there. Wow. Okay, so they're her hero cards should you decide to play as her. We have then her villain cards. Nova Burst, add crisis tokens. So all adding crisis tokens here. Nova Flare, if there are no crisis tokens over the location, add a crisis token. Okay. So potentially a bit of a reprieve on the end there. We have some Heralds of Galactus cards. Heralds of Galactus, so it'll be slightly different. Not entirely sure how that all works together. There's a whole bunch of taps. You shuffle up. How you determine which of those applies at any given time. And then we have threats that will be scattered around the board. So coordinated attack. So 1 here in this location takes 1 damage for each villain in this and both adjacent locations. Wow. Diversion. The civilians and both adjacent require an extra heroic feat to be rescued. Joint forces. Each thug in this and adjacent location to get 2 damage to be defeated. Smart trick. When playing crisis tokens in this and both adjacent locations, place an extra crisis token there. And hiding place. Each villain in this adjacent locations ignore 1 damage each hero turn. There you go. So some pretty nasty stuff in her deck. She's the baddie. And then we have a final selection of cards, of course, for the other Heralds. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, very interesting. Free Firelord. Oops, here we go. So, rescue 4 civilians, clear 2 threats, and defeat 4 thugs. And we have 3 of those to complete in order to rescue Firelord. Wow, very different. Okay. Interesting. You have to do all of them. So let's have a look. Terax. Yeah. And yeah. Okay, that's fine. So let's go Firelord first of all. Have a look at these main cards. Oops. There we go. So Annihilus Seeker's Invasion. In any Annihilus Seeker's threat cards have been cleared, put 1 of them back into play. Okay. So we've got a number of those. Those threat cards keep coming back into play. Wow, lots of those. Tawny side for each completed mission, draw one master plan card and add it face down to storyline. Heroes may prevent this effect by taking damage. So that's Torn inside. Makes up the other half of his deck. Wow. And then we have, here we go, an Annihilus Seeker. Bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in its location. Location, each thug requires 2 damage to defeat, and each civilian cross an extra heroic feat to rescue. So we've got Annihilus Seekers throughout. All of them. Wow. Very interesting. Very different. Okay. And we have Nova, Airwalker. Let's look at his threats first of all. So Airwalker has hyper light speed. If Airwalker is in this location where the hero enters it, to move Airwalker clockwise to the next location with no heroes. So when you're trying to chase him around and attack him, those hyper light speeds, all of them. Wow. Okay. Flipping heck, you'll definitely want to get rid of those. He's going to be difficult to nail down otherwise. Okay. So look at his main cards then. So we've got various BAMs going on. Special cards. Horn of Galactus. Give 1 crisis token to each hero with the least crisis tokens. And then finally the Call. Give 1 crisis token to each hero with less than 2 crisis tokens. Go. And then finally, last but not least, we have Heralds. So we've got all his general cards. So Hunger for Power. Bring 1 random cleared threat card back into play in the next clockwise location if possible. Geokinesis. Place 1 movement token between Terax's location and each adjacent one. Ah, yes, that was the one of his abilities. And then we have the Terax the Tamer. When he lands here, add 1 civilian to this location. If there's 3 or more here, increase his domination track by 1. So we've got 2, 3 of those. And then similarly with the thugs instead of civilians. There we go. That is it, folks. That is everything that came in that box. But as I mentioned, there was an extra surprise. If you were, an extra goodie, if you were to back the Galactus It's Coming pledge level, they gave you the core game and all the Kickstarter exclusive extras and the Galactus box. You would also get Iron Lad. So components: 1 hero piece, 12 hero cards and 1 equipment card. So let's have a look. And there is a space in the big Kickstarter stretch goal box for this mini to live. Let's dig in and have a look. Here he is. And there's his cards and his equipment. Tape. Oh, so cute. Iron Lad. Here's. I'm going to bring it back down there. She's got small dudes. There you go. Very kind of Iron Man akin base, as I recall, and pose even. But definitely distinct, quite different. So there's Iron Lad. Okay. So we'll look at his equipment card. So neurokinetic armor. Use on your turn until the beginning of your next turn. You cannot take any damage, and for each damage you would take, add a attack in your location. Then turn this face down. Recharge. At the beginning of your turn, discard 2 action tokens. Turn this face up. Okay. So that's him and his equipment card. Get him back away. I haven't come across Iron Lad actually in my research thus far, but I will look him up. but I do have his little storyline that was provided with the actual campaign. So of course this is a hero we're going to be playing, so we will get the standard hero deck, a bit of a sneak peek of what comes in. Okay, so we've got some interesting ones. So we get no benefit for the next player, time travel, swap this card with any face-up card in the storyline. That card becomes the one you played this turn. Okay, interesting. Time ship, move, then wild, and an extra move. Time lord, you may discard one card or one action token to flip one or two cards in the storyline. And energy blast, attack 2 against a single target in your location. And then finally concussive bolts, attack 2 in an adjacent location and attack. There we go. So that is what Iron Lad provides us. And that, friends, is that. That is everything that came in the Herald box plus the extra Iron Lad. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Oh, I was going to do, there was one more, wasn't there, reading, so apologies. I will do that for Iron Lad. It's just there we go. We can get that back on screen for you so I've been looking at my ugly mug. Iron Lad, real name Nathaniel Richards. In the year 3016, on alternative Earth, robotics student Nathaniel was rescued from a life-threatening situation by his future self, the time-traveling Kang the Conqueror. Kang gave his young self a suit of psychokinetic armor that responded to his thoughts and gave him a glimpse of his future. Horrified at the destruction he would cause, Nathaniel rejected Kang's help and used the armor to escape to modern-day Earth, hoping to get the Avengers to help against Kang. Instead, he followed Vision's plan and created the Young Avengers, taking on the identity of Iron Lad and recruiting a new generation of heroes. Wow, very interesting. So you know we've already seen in the movies the starting of the formation of the Young Avengers. Obviously, we had originally the Kang storyline. We've seen Immortus from the original core box of Multiverse, and how that very much plays into that Kang storyline. Is this maybe what Marvel had planned, had the situation not occurred as we have it today, and Kang still been very much part of the MCU story continuing? It could well have been. It could well have been that actually Iron Lad, as a form of Kang, maybe would have taken up the helm as Nathan and performed the Young Avengers, but we will never know. And instead we have a new storyline, and maybe that other one will be revisited at some point in the future. Time will tell, folks, but that is it. Thank you as always for watching and sticking with my rambling if you are still here. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, digging into these characters, finding out more about who they are, who will be getting to play, how the themes of these different characters actually come to bear on the table. Hopefully you found of some use, some benefit, some enjoyment, and yeah, hopefully we'll see these guys in action on the table themselves at some point in the near future. Otherwise, just to say thank you very much for watching. If you liked this, then please hit like. If you enjoyed this and want to encourage me to keep making this content, and please do hit that subscribe. It really does encourage me. Otherwise, just to say thank you very much, and I'll meet you again at the table soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.